post-financial crisis, South Africa was really supported by global growth. And suddenly, without that support, we're muddling through. At least we were muddling through, supported by consumption growth, especially household consumption growth. And then that now has been reined in with credit being reined in, interest rates increasing, inflation increasing, wage growth slowing down. And then we now have not only a program that we're supposed to grow we're supposed to follow the National Development Plan, which is very infrastructure-led, but we also have problems in terms of spending, that we have a spending ceiling that is constraining us from at least spending on the government side. And I look at South Africa currently and compare it with with our emerging markets peers, and I also realize that we have been very uncompetitive. On the production side of the economy, we have a huge problem with labor. We have a huge problem with skills development and education. We have not dealt with these structural problems since 1994, and I think this is what we were supposed to have done in the first place. And what is happening right now with the eruption of labor disruption is a factor of this ignoring these structural problems, these inequalities, be it labor inequalities or income inequalities. And I'm also concerned by the way in which the government hopes to tackle this inequality. I know the president mentioned that he is they're thinking about a national minimum wage. And I'm quite concerned about that because it could prevent employment. And we're not at that level yet. I think we still need to look at skills development and education. And if you look at other development, you mentioned China. China is on its 12th five-year plan, including India. And it started off very agrarian, but it also started off with cheap labor, where a lot of the population was employed, and then you start protecting the current employed workers. Then you start increasing minimum, having discussions around minimum wage. And now looking forward, I'm still not sure, what type of economy are we trying to be? And if we are to follow a South Korea type of growth, then a lot of the policies that are in the National Development Plan and that have been set out in the State of the Nation address are not the type of policies that will lead us into a South Korea type of growth path. I see the economy, I think we're now not even muddling through, we're talking about recession. We could be in this perennial malaise for a very long time if we're not careful. And we still, I think, kicking the can down the road and not addressing structural unemployment, the rigidities within education and labor that are not really highlighted. Going back to South Korea, a few years ago, we used to laugh at Sangyong and all the strange companies that used to come from South Korea. And now, if you look at every household, we've got a South Korean gadget, fridge, Samsung. And why can't we do that? And I think that we need to take beneficiation very seriously, and not just in mining, I think in everything. The fact that we have chrome ore in South Africa and we export it to China, and we import steel, finished good.
Without chrome in it.
Yes, it's just amazing. And yet China, you can't actually, China has a policy of not importing finished goods. So they want to create it and then sell it back to us. So we should look at our policies too. And in the manufacturing sector always complains about flooding of cheap goods from Asia, but we're not competitive enough. We're not creating a lot of things that we produce, raw materials that we have, and this could be also, could solve the employment problem. Lovely. So it's these little things that I think are low-hanging fruits that the government and business can work towards solving. And I also think, look, we create cars. We've been making exceptional cars for a very long time. Actually, the 3 Series BMW, we make the most faultless 3 Series in the world. And yet, we don't make cars. I think it's about time we start thinking about back to what kind of country are we? Why don't we make a South African-made car since we have the expertise to do so? So there are little things that we could actually start thinking about that are just not, that go beyond just exporting raw material.
Thank you.